Hello, everyone. Just press the action button podcast on digital-delirium.com. I am your host, Joystick. With me this week is Gameface. How you doing this week, Gameface?
Hey, guys. I think I'm turning Canadian. No comment. What's up, everybody? I think he's turning Japanese. I really think so. Well, close, but except
the song's
with
about
Canadian.
masturbation.
Why?
I don't know. I just know it's about masturbation.
That's retarded. I hate when people come up to me and they'll be like, "Oh, you know what that song's really about?"
No. I just sang it, then I'm just like, it's about masturbation.
Oh, okay.
And that's it.
Well, it's okay if you just say that.
I unplugged your Mac so I could plug in the thing.
I didn't know the Mac was even plugged in.
It was for some reason.
We have a guest this week.
Yeah.
As usual.
Yeah, instead of Ian, because he works on weekends, which is pretty gay, we have...
I do suppose it's rather gay.
Slacker Chan, or Bim, whichever one you prefer to call him. How are you?
I'm okay. Feeling very finished today. Very finished.
Finish?
Finish.
Finland!
I am a very, very, very happy man right now because my baseball team, the Texas Rangers, have clinched the division. They clinched yesterday with a 4-3 victory over the Oakland A's, and they beat the shit out of the Oakland A's today. They got 16 runs.
Wait, are we talking about baseball?
I'm talking about baseball because my team is going to the playoffs for the first time in 11 years. It makes me happy.
Josh, I'm sorry to say, but baseball's as boring as Mom and apple pie.
Apple pie and Mom are pretty awesome then.
Apple pie is pretty awesome, but nothing is more American than launching an apple pie and shooting it like a clay pigeon.
I don't think you guys got the reference though.
No, what's that from?
Futurama reference.
Nope. No, I didn't get it.
Third episode.
Plus, your mom, Tim, is not very boring.
From what I've gathered, your mom is rather entertaining and unfortunate.
She's either entertaining or stressful, if you pick.
Like I said, entertaining in unfortunate ways. At least unfortunate for you.
No, it's either she's entertaining or stressful. But that's usually...
Yeah, I remember dropping you off at home once after you had a fight with her over the phone and going into the supermarket across the street to get some potato wedges and coming out and just seeing a mushroom cloud where your house had once been.
It's amazing you're alive today.
Anyway.
It's amazing that you're alive today.
I'm sorry, your mom's cool though.
But I don't know your mom, so I can't talk shit.
She's cool. She can be.
We finally got the charger for the fucking camera, so we can charge the battery and
I could use a charge on my fucking.
And then we can record, people
supercharger
punching stuff some more.
Well,
you want to be in a movie about people punching stuff?
Actually, I have a great idea for a movie people punching stuff. Justin Schaefer, aka Radio Schaefer, wants to reenact the final scene in Metal Gear Solid with me being Liquid Snake and him being...
With pies?
No. With him
with
being
pies,
Solid.
Please, with pies.
He wants us this winter to stand on a pile of scrap metal and bare knuckle box with our shirts off in the snow.
I haven't told
the end of Metal Gear Solid.
I haven't told you about the short film that I'm working on that camera, have I?
Oh yeah.
I
think it's called Fight Authority.
It's just fighting stuff, and it's like fight the law, and you'll punch like a speed limit sign, and then fight pro-choice. I'm like beating the crap out of a coat hanger. And then fight pro-life, and I'm like beating up a box of cereal. Stuff like that. It'll be awesome. And it'll be like 10-15 minutes long. It'll be like fight and then I'll just be eating something.
Speaking
we got the pierogi.
Yeah.
Fight pierogi.
Speaking of speed limit signs, has anyone noticed how the speed limits...
No, it's not a pierogi. What was it?
On the interstate went up and up, and now they're going down and down again?
Well, you know what? I noticed this. I just drove back from Philly today. I can say that the whole southeast of the state, between Philadelphia and Harrisburg, are currently under construction.
Yeah.
It was like there's construction on Route 76. There was construction coming into Harrisburg.
I just gotta say one thing since this is going out to anyone who can speak English, or well, understand it anyway.
this has anything to do with lard, I don't want to hear it.
What?
I don't know. Anyway.
No, if you ever come to Pennsylvania, be warned. We do.
This state sucks.
I agree, but no, what I mean is.
Oh, what, Tim? I'm sorry, go ahead.
You kind of like stopped half word there and you said, our cunt. That's what it sounded like.
Oh, we'll have to listen to that later. But anyway, if you come here into our state, be warned, our construction people, they seem to think it's a good idea to strip the road and then just leave it that way for two weeks straight before they start repaving. Because, that's not hard on your tires or your...
They'll work... It seems like they'll work maybe like 3 hours a day so that every construction project takes up to a year or sometimes more. I remember when they were working on Route 78 and it was like that the whole time I was in college.
I noticed
at that particular
when they're
school
actually
anyways.
working, they're working way more hours now.
That'll keep the dog from coming in.
But they'll do half the project and then not touch it again for a couple of weeks. And then
I can't believe they finally finished that bridge in Cumberland.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, the one on the way to Giant? They finished it?
They finished it.
Yeah,
They've only been working on that most of the time that I've been here.
They finished it and then it burned down. No, it didn't, but...
I wouldn't be surprised.
How do you burn down steel short of plasma?
With Chuck Norris.
Anyway, shouldn't we be
Yes,
talking about video
with
games?
Chuck Norris.
Nah.
Chuck
Too
Norris
obvious.
will burn down your shit.
Anyway.
Chuck Norris's calendar goes from March 31st to April 2nd because nobody fools Chuck Norris.
I got you.
I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris. Yes.
Not Choris. Anyways.
Do you know there's a comic called Chuck Norris Karate Commandos?
I think there's also a cartoon by the same name, actually.
There's a video game for the Intellivision about Chuck Norris, and it sucks though. It's like Suck Norris.
Yeah, how does Shaq get video games done of him but not Chuck Norris?
Yeah, I know. There's only been like one, and he does a campaign for voting now.
Who's Shaq?
Chuck Norris. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And he's like, if you haven't voted, you've already surrendered. Like, not with that accent. He doesn't have that accent, but
Chuck Norris.
He's the man.
Awesome.
That would scare the crap out of me into voting.
Vote or Chuck Norris will get you.
No. Just you could even just leave it at vote or Chuck Norris. Cake on Norris.
Chuck Norris is the preferred method of execution in about 40 states.
Screw the truth. I have cake.
Cake on death.
Get it? Really? No. I thought I would have got better laughter with that.
That was pretty good.
Well, no, because the whole, the cake is a lie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, screw the truth, I have
money.
Oh, yeah.
Screw the truth, I have cake.
Yeah. I'm not
I
even
worked on
angry.
that one all night.
I'm being so sincere.
Why don't we just call it
right
Everybody
now.
Hates Raymond? Please do not sing the
Even
Gladys
though
song.
you
Do not sing the Gladys song on my show.
Okay.
My show.
It's not your show, dingus. It's
Okay.
my show.
I know.
Well,
And this is the 26th episode. It's hard to believe it's been 26 episodes. Can you believe it's been 26 episodes?
I cannot believe it's been 26 episodes.
28
that's a whole,
actually, but
that's a whole series.
well, if you show me 25 episodes, I'll believe it.
They're on the website.
Technically this is 28 because we had 23.5 and 23.6,
Yeah.
and then we had 24 and 25.
What happened to the half one that we did? with
I came
me
back the
and-
next day, and it was just me and him.
Okay.
Yeah, I
so-
posted that online.
Oh, you did?
I edited it, added music, and posted it.
Yeah, we gonna come back.
That's cool. Someday I'm going to be very nostalgic about that, because, that whole last, week that we lived at that last apartment really blew.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was just every day I came home, I was like, we gotta do some work, and then we never did, and then the last 3 days I was running around like a maniac for about 10 hours a day.
That sounds like about
Yeah,
every
so-
time
well, I was
moved as
too,
a
man.
kid. Because our mom would tell us, we're moving at this time, and then it's like, she would yell at us for not having everything all packed and ready to go.
I blame Bruce
but all her
McDouche
stuff
for
wasn't
deciding
packed
to
and
show
ready
up
to
on
go.
Sunday afternoon.
She said he was going to.
Yeah, I blame him for showing up on Sunday afternoon.
I got flipped off in traffic on Saturday morning, going to Colin's house in Philly. There was the Apple Fest going around in our little hometown of, almost our hometown of New Cumberland. And apparently that means that there's not only a lot of people around, but everybody's mentally retarded. And so I'm stuck in traffic
anyway. So I mean,
I'm stuck in traffic. Big difference is I'm trying to go down a side street, and there's these 2 cars stopped there. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for the guy in front to go. The guy in front goes. The guy behind him kind of hesitates, so I get up behind him. You know, it's kind of hard not to tailgate somebody if they're not moving. So I get up behind him, and I guess he decided that I got up behind him too aggressively, and he turns around and flips me off. And looked at him and was like, what? And he leans out his window and like glares at me. And I'm like, seriously? And he looked like Lucas Lee, except with blonde hair.
You need to go, I am a man! And punch him in the gut.
Yeah.
See, like...
So saith Linkara on atop the 4th wall.
See, I only really... I have 2 issues with this state. One, the roads. That's just...
They suck.
Yeah, because in every other country, when they... most of our states, anyway, do this, but not all of them. And every other country does this. When they redo a road, they tear it up. Like, down to the foundation of the road, and they redo the entire thing.
That's how they do it in Texas.
But in Pennsylvania, we just keep covering it up.
Because we're broke.
And we're lazy, as far as our state construction workers. Mm-hmm. And the second and main reason why I actually would one day want to move out of the state, despite the fact that most of my family is here,
no,
is the social structure in Pennsylvania is incredibly unstable.
What do you mean?
Like you can have it's such a weird social melting pot. You can have completely different views from your neighbor, for instance, next door. But it's to the point where no one in this state knows their neighbor. Most people don't know about their neighbor. It sounds like you guys do, but
I think it's just the fact that we live in a very urban area where people are moving a lot. I think if you get to, I mean, it had to be. You grew up in Ebensburg as a little kid. That had to have been different.
Well, slightly. We knew our one neighbor because
I don't think that's a state-to-state thing so much as more of a town-to-town thing.
I don't know, because in Ebensburg, it was very, like, when you're in a small enough place,
you kind
of don't have a choice, honestly, so I don't think that can be compared very well, but, like, even still, we knew our one neighbor on our right because she actually had been a family friend for years, and she actually helped us get that house. But on the left side, we talked to them, like, maybe once a year.
Yeah, that's true. I never got to know anybody in the whole block of townhouses where I lived my senior year in college.
Query.
What?
What are we drinking tonight?
Jingling! Yingling Lager. Traditional. Brewed in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Pop a top. Oh, for freaking out loud. Tim already popped his. Where's my other one?
It's right
right beside you.
It's at me bum. Okay, here we go.
Fail, Alex.
Reaction. I got my fingernails under it, funny.
And
I drank woodchuck cider all weekend. It was cool.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Import, which is ironically enough no longer an actual import.
Why would they import energy drinks?
Well, here's what happened was Monsters, I forget, it was like in Norway or Spain, I forget. Oh no, actually, I think it might have been Amsterdam, Holland, I think.
Really?
I might be wrong. They had...
Isn't that weird?
One of their the factories over there designed these cans where they have closable lids. So you can actually close the lid, put it in your fridge, and store it for later.
Which makes sense considering they recommend 2 servings out of one of those big cans.
Yeah. And it became extremely popular over there, so they flat out only made them with the, resealable cans from now on. And, well, they ended up bringing them over here. I mean, some tourists over there from America saw them, liked them, wanted them over here, so they started selling them over here. Became such a big hit over here. Not only did they start selling them regularly,
Monster's awesome,
but the formula is also slightly different. They started making it. I forget where. I think it's like Nebraska now, but they're still calling them imports.
That's strange
because the formula is like a slight difference and it has the the swivel openings.
So we finally got some jobs being insourced.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it wasn't like it was necessarily like they were slave waging over there or anything.
No, but they don't. Yeah. It doesn't do us any good to have jobs over there, right?
I think it's funny because they're still calling it Monster Import because that's what everyone knows it as, but it's no
slave wage over there in China.
Chiner?
Shiner.
Virginer? Shiner? Good stuff.
You know what word I came up with yesterday that made me laugh?
What?
Vaginal.
That's a fresh perspective there.
That sounds like
okay, moving on. Okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah, that's the cue for us to start with our actual topics. Only been 16 minutes.
And we've been gibbering.
We do that a lot.
If you started listening to this and you went for 10 minutes, you're probably not listening anymore.
If you are listening still, more power to you because you are a real fan.
And you have too much time on your hands.
And nothing better to... Either you have nothing to do with your life or you already accomplished everything else you wanted to do with it.
You probably watch a lot of Michael Moore. Hey, what's that sound? Oh, it's Al Gore coming up the hill in his hybrid Sherman tank that shoots new laws at people. Bill!
Better yet,
Bill!
He's coming on his butter glider.
Bill, not the science
you guys have to see
guy.
the newest Venture Brothers episode.
Totally.
Bill gets a thing called a butter glider.
Butter. Ew.
It's a butterfly-like glider, kind of like the hop.
Oh my gosh! I just came up with the best idea, but go ahead, Tim.
Oh. And it runs on, like,
He'll forget it by the time you quit talking, Tim.
what's the kind of fuel called made out of, like...
Your mom?
Oil or corn or whatever.
Ethanol?
I guess. Or it's like...
Corn? Biodiesel.
Biodiesel.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it smells like burning French fries.
Nice.
Anyway, that episode was just, in my personal opinion, I thought it was genius, but my brother was like, it was so-so, but I think that's because my brother's a Venture Brothers fanboy, and as fanboys go, like, the fanboys for Venture Brothers love Season 2 and love nothing else about the show. Because fanboys ruin everything.
I will still say that I do think, from what I've seen, I would say Season 2 is the best season.
Well, honestly, still think so.
It's the best balance of camp and comedy and epic seriousness.
Right.
And the balance kind of shifts around a lot throughout the series.
Yeah.
You remember when we were going to start doing topics?
No, but I had a better idea. This trumps everything. Well, we need to mix like steak pan drippings. You know, like the red stuff that oozes out of a delicious steak, and blend it with butter and call it bludder.
That is so fucking gross.
That is so freaking... Imagine spreading that on some, like, crusty baguettes.
Ugh.
Didn't you ever soak up your steak juice with a piece of bread?
No.
Well, now you don't have to.
Good, because I didn't want to anyway.
Real quick before we start on the topics, just let me say, the problem with fanboys is, either if you become a fanboy of something, either anything else that comes along in the series, you'll be either disappointed with, or anything else that comes along, you'll love, even if it's crappy. So that's the problem with being a fanboy.
What if you never release anything crappy like Hideo Kojima?
What's that?
What if you never release anything crappy like the Metal Gear series?
Dude, I'm sorry, but I am so disappointed with 4 that it makes me cry. Like,
I thought 4 was probably the best one.
Kidding. The best one was number 1 by far. Either that or 3. I have my
3 was
scruples.
amazing.
I have scruples with 3 because, honestly...
Have you played Peace Walker?
No, I haven't yet. I heard it was like... It was good,
It's not
but
as good. It's still very, very good, but...
uninspired.
It's not as good, but it's still very, very good.
Like, everyone hates a lot on 2. I don't really think it was that bad.
I don't like Raiden other than that. I thought it was a great game.
No, it's not so much Raiden himself. It was just the fact that it's like, I
It wasn't
love Metal
Snake.
Gear Solid, and then you start playing the game through the tanker scene. You start as Snake, and then you start all of a sudden, you're like, wait, why am I not Snake? Who the fuck is this guy? What's going on? Wait, are you doing this in my VR training? Playing as this guy for the rest of the game, and that's just, you can't get over it.
I just didn't like Raiden's whole personality in that game. He was fine in 4, but I did not like him in...
Well, it wasn't actually the way Hideo Kojima wrote him, it was the way the English voice actor portrayed him that was the issue. Like, if you mutate and actually look at the words he's saying, just the words themselves aren't really that bitchy or whiny. But when you hear the English voice actor saying the lines, it's like, oh, I want to kill this guy. You know what I mean?
It's like, oh, shut up, Raiden, please, for the love of God, shut up!
It's kind of like in God of War 3, even though
I haven't played God of War 3 yet.
The one person, like, Kratos won't kill is Pandora, and she's the one that you keep going, oh God, shut her up, Kratos, just kill her.
We had a good time when John Travolta came over the one time and was talking to us and was playing.
Ian was playing Metal Gear Solid 2.
Metal Gear Solid 4.
No, he's playing Metal Gear Solid 2.
Metal Gear Solid 2 and would not stop ripping on Raiden.
You didn't cover that in VR training.
He was making him.
Okay, guys, it's 21 minutes in. Seriously,
our first
We're
topic.
talking about video games now.
True. Let's go.
Topic.
Okay, one of Sony's major titles for this holiday season has been pushed back to January 18th. That is Little Big Planet 2. The team says that they are pushing this back because after they entered beta, the fans discovered quite a few problems and they're going to need more time to fix it. I respect that. Take enough time to put out a better product instead of rushing it out onto the scene. At the same time, it does hurt Sony for the holiday season.
For the record, I do like Little Big Planet, but from the trailers and stuff I saw for the second one, I don't see anything that seems innovative or anything really new about it that makes me go, I want to go out and buy this. Like,
well, it's what they're innovating is not so much the gameplay itself, but the creator part of it.
Right.
It's much more expansive than it used to be.
But I kind of agree with the what's his name? The Escapist. Sorry. I agree with him how like they come along with this like.
Are you talking about Yahtzee?
Yahtzee, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like how he thinks this idea.
I thought Yahtzee annoyed you.
Sometimes, but no, I do. Agree
Escapist is the magazine
he
works with. But anyway,
no, he said about how the game, and I saw this myself. Like they assume that like every child is a godchild waiting to be released or whatever, and come up with all these great, creative, and awesome ideas. And I know that's bullshit myself because I can be very creative, but in only certain areas. And I know I cannot make a great video game.
There's going to be a lot of sparkling gems flooded out by a lot of really crappy level design by people who shouldn't be.
And it's just like with anything
but
on the internet.
But the good thing about that is people play the levels, they mark down what's good and what's not. Right. So the ones that are really creative and really cool, or the ones that are really creative and original or really cool, you know that right off the bat by its rating.
Right, but see, one of the problems with the internet is you can't technically search by quality.
Rating. Hey, that could be something that might be on its way in the pipes.
Well, what I mean is...
Search by user rating.
I think that does kind of exist on a lot of levels, but you mean on Little Big Planet?
Well, on things in general, but yeah, sure, they could do it.
Because, like, I know you can search by user rating on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Pretty sure you can.
The aftermarket stuff on Little Big Planet, like, rivaled fucking StarCraft with all its use map settings stuff that they did on that game back in the day. It was that big.
Well, StarCraft, though, honestly, it took many years before what was, like, the true gem maps really started to show and became regulars. But, I mean, like I was saying, the big problem with the internet is there can be something that's real quality that doesn't get discovered for years or maybe never. For instance, right now, we could be, like, recording one of the greatest podcasts ever, and it might never be discovered.
Having been involved with the first 25 minutes of this podcast,
isn't it?
We're not recording one of the greatest podcasts.
I'm just using an example, though.
Yeah, but hey, it's inspiring, isn't it?
Right. We could also be
we're creating something.
Right. Mm-hmm. We could be recording the worst podcast ever, and it could end up becoming
That's
popular.
Much more likely.
It could end up becoming extremely popular just
like
because
people
know.
Like The Room.
The Room. Have you seen
the Nostalgia Critics review of the movie The Room?
No.
They took it down, and he made a parody of the production studio for taking it down. But it's still on some websites. We'll show it to you. It's worth it. Ian just sent me a...
But that whole movie has gained, like, mass popularity.
D-Pad just sent me a brilliant text message.
What?
Well, I pitched him my idea for Bludder, and I said, only available at Mongamo's restaurant. where men dine. And he replied, Mongamos, the best gravy shakes in town. Classy.
Anyway.
I wonder if this is gonna... I wonder how much this is going to hurt them. Obviously, this is a major sequel for
now
Sony.
Sonic 4 won't feel so left out.
Well, Sonic 4 is a major... Sonic 4 will sell.
Real quick, going back on a little bit.
Little Big Planet 2 will sell.
About finding, like, good stuff. See, part of the problem is if you want to find the good stuff, you have to spend tons and tons of time literally digging through the shit to find gold.
But I think...
Literally?
That's part of the problem.
Then again, maybe it'll help Little Big Planet because everybody will have freed up money and money that they got from Christmas around that time.
Right.
So everybody will be able to go out and get it because the hell else is released in January? You know, January is usually like dead man's land in the video game world.
You know what I would do? I would, if I was making a game. If I would sell the game itself in the beginning of November before Christmas, so that people have time to get it for a present, and then because
that's usually what that's originally it was. I think it was set to release in November.
Well, a thing that's popular with games now, especially games that are heavy on multiplayer online modes, is releasing expansion packs or whatever.
And they supported the fuck out of the first Little Big Planet. There was tons of downloadable content, both free and paid.
But what you would do is, like, for instance, like, example would be like, say, Bad Company 2. That's a huge multiplayer game, right?
Yeah, don't they have a new expansion coming out?
Right. If you were smart, like, say
they come out the same day as Black Ops?
I don't know.
Which is kind of dumb
I
on
guess
their part
because they're just trying to show who's better. I don't know.
I know they're going toe to toe with Call of Duty. They basically made that obvious. They've called Call of Duty out. They said our game is better.
Right. I think they are winning. But anyway, it's just an example. Like you would put out a game early November, so parents or whatever people would buy it for Christmas as gifts, and then maybe say at the end of January, put out the downloadable expansion. So maybe people don't have the game yet. They'll hear about the expansion coming out at the end of January, and they'll have that Christmas money. They'll be like, "Oh, there's already an expansion."
You're holding the microphone, dude.
What?
Hang on, I'll show you how it's done. Okay. He's playing with my flint stick.
But anyway, it's just an idea. It's the way to market both the money that's available before and after Christmas.
Okay. Anyway.
That's awesome. But anyway, okay, next topic. Sorry.
Bobby Kotick, a favorite topic on this podcast because the guy is a jackhole.
That guy who, like, wasn't he like one of Hitler's doctors or something?
He probably would have been.
This is a
the guy only cares. The guy only cares about one thing: money, and he makes that painfully obvious through his actions and words. And this is another example of that. He's the CEO of Activision, if you don't know, and he wants to gather up all the cutscenes in various video games, like all the cutscenes for StarCraft 2, for example, because it's Activision Blizzard, they're part of the same company. He can do that.
Wait, they are?
Yes, Activision Blizzard.
Blizzard.
Right. I was going to say...
They merged like last year, I think.
I guess Activision wouldn't be around anymore if it wasn't for Blizzard, then.
Activision would, because they got Call of Duty. And Call of Duty sells insanely well.
Because, like, I don't hear about Activision anymore. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't play Call of Duty, I don't know.
Anyway, he wants to gather up all the cutscenes from games like StarCraft and put them all together as a movie and sell them for $20 to $30. That
doesn't make sense because I played halfway through StarCraft 2 already, and while there's a decent amount of cutscenes, there's definitely not enough to make a movie.
Even then, you can get movies for significantly cheaper than $30. The only time you'll pay $30 for a movie is when you buy it on Blu-ray brand new.
Right.
That's it.
Honestly, I don't see this as a controversy, because if he does this, it's like, so what? Only people who are dumb enough to buy it, they're dumb. So
this whole plan is dumb. I can understand if you're selling for like $5, maybe there's a market for that, because there are video games like Metroid Other M, for example. If you beat that game, there's a theater mode where you can watch all of the cutscenes again in the order as a movie.
I get why you're saying it's dumb, But honestly, I don't see how it's a big thing because it's like it's not going to hurt his company at all. All it's going to do is make stupid people give them extra money.
Yeah.
It's not going to make.
That's what he wants is money. That's what it's all about. That's why
it thrives off of stupidity.
Honestly, I can't say.
If it was $5, I wouldn't have a problem with this. But 20 to 30.
If it was overpriced, they wouldn't make any sales, and then they'll figure it out.
Is there even a market for this thing at that price point?
If there's not, then they're going to lose out. So it's it's kind of a self.
They're not really losing any money because it's scenes from a game they're already making tons of money off of.
Yeah, but they'll lose money on distribution.
StarCraft 2, people have been waiting for that game for 10 years. It's a huge deal.
Well, it depends. Are they actually selling it on DVD or are they selling it over the internet?
He didn't specify. He just said he wanted
content. They're not really going to lose anything on it if no one buys it.
And your goatee is a huge deal, but no one's making money off of that.
My goatee is awesome. My goatee is like Chuck Norris.
I grow a goatee for you. Isn't it beautiful? We're still doing that Tommy Show thing. Poodles.
Like, honestly, if I had a company, I might try something like that one day.
But you wouldn't charge that much for it, would you?
I think what I would do is I would randomly have the price change between $1 to $50 every week and see what the sales would be like.
It would be a lot of sales on the $1 days.
First week, I would put it out for like $30 and see how many people are willing to buy it. And then without announcement, just drop it to like $2 the next week. And just keep changing it to see what people would do.
People would start to pay attention and be like, hey, it's $2 today, I'll go buy it. Yeah,
but there would also be dumb people who would see it and go, oh, I need this. Oh, it's kind of expensive, but I have more money than brains. You know what I mean?
There are a lot of people that do have more money than brains.
Let them.
You know what I think? I think Bobby Kotick wants to be hated more than EA Sports. That's what I think. I think he wants more hatred for gamers than EA Sports with their stupid online pass.
I think people stop just hating EA Sports and just don't care anymore. Although
people hate EA Sports right now more than ever before because of the online pass. Have you heard about that thing?
No, because I don't play sports games.
Neither do I, but I have a pod.
If you ever go to college, that's where all the frat boys, the blondies play. They play EA Sports.
They play Madden. They play lots of
Madden and Halo, that's about it.
See, the thing is, real quick about sports games, I gotta say sports games are kind of like the music games like Guitar Hero. At first it's all cool and everything, but then after a few games it's like, you know what, why don't I just do this in real life? You know what I mean? Like,
sports games aren't like that though, because sports games have been gradually getting more and more success for the past 20 years. I mean, Madden is 20 years old.
But it was like, I don't know, it's like with Guitar Hero 3, once that came out, it was like everyone my age realized, you know what, if I'm going to do this, why don't I just do it with a real guitar?
You know what's kind of humorous that I saw on YouTube the other day that you reminded me of, because you mentioned Halo?
Mom?
Nope.
You know that song by the Red Hot Chili Peppers? It's like, Halo. Yeah, I saw the song. It's like, Halo, it's all I play. It's awesome.
Brilliant.
What I was going to say about the sports games is I think sports games are dumb in the sense that it's like, why don't you just go play a sport?
Well, I think they're dumb in the fact that there's so many of them and they're all exactly the same. There used to be a place in Kutztown where I went to school that you could go down... Shut up. You could go down...
I was going to say that's called Madden Syndrome. Madden Syndrome, because Madden releases the same game every year. They just update rosters.
I guess people who are hardcore sports fans and also stupid at the same time, which there's a few of them, but there was this little shop...
be an intelligent sports fan.
There's this little shop on the outskirts of Kutztown where I went to school where you could go in there and buy, sell, or trade NES, SNES, Game Boy, Game Gear. You could even get Atari games there. You couldn't get Jaguar games.
Why don't we have a place like that here?
Because
I knew a place down in Texas.
Can I finish my story first?
I don't know, can you?
I'm about to.
Finish your story. Damn it.
I would go in there and I would flip through the games, and especially with the Sega You flip through Sega games there, and Sega Genesis was always one of my favorite consoles. You flip through the Sega Genesis, and literally, like, 5 out of 6 of them are
sports?
NHL or NFL. And they're all from different years. 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96 of each sport of each league. And it's like, why? In the NES era, they would have 1, 2, or possibly 3 games for each sport, and that was it.
I think that was part of what helped Sega stay afloat, was all the sports games.
I guess, but now they're all in the shop, and they're like accumulating because everybody wants to get rid of them.
Yeah,
to get the new
wants
one.
to buy them.
It's the exact same way with PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3, dude. If you look on the shelf, there'll be tons of Madden games from last year when the new Madden comes out.
I should have bought like a Madden, or not a Madden, like an NHL 93, brought it home, played it, and then brought it back into the same store and gotten store credit and being like, this sucks. I'm going to get NHL 94. Gone home, played that for a week, brought that home, traded it in for 95, and being like, hey, I feel like Clinton's in charge again. Skip-a-doo-doo-dah.
You guys ready to move on?
Sure.
Bobby Kotick sucks. Fuck you, Bobby Kotick.
Okay.
Anyway,
I have to pee.
Team Ico.
Oh, you had a story. I think you had a story that you were... I'm sorry.
When you were interrupting him earlier.
Yeah, what was I saying? I didn't
mean to disinterrupt, but I'm sorry. I forget what I was going to... I'm going to do a shot of beer.
I forget what I was going to say.
Maybe you'll think of it later.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say that I had a place like that down in Texas.
Oh, yeah.
And it had not only did it have Atari Jaguar games, it had Atari Jaguar CD games.
Oh, man, it's like...
That is how awesome this store was.
It's like the eBay store.
Well, we used to have a
it was glorious.
Funko-Land, and then GameStop bought them up, and they don't sell old stuff anymore. Screw you, GameStop.
Yeah, it's like GameStop in the middle
of
like place.
My biggest problem with GameStop is the used sales, because they sell them for like $5 less than the normal game.
Yeah.
Which means they make like $30, $40 of profit on relatively new games that they sell.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like
they could cut the price by like $10 more. I wouldn't have a problem with it.
You ever try pouring beer into a shot glass? It's harder than it seems.
Well, one time when I went to buy Batman Arkham Asylum, they tried to get me to buy a used. They're like, you'll save like $7, and not just like that was $7 on the base, but if you consider the tax, then I'm probably saving actually more like $9. So I was thinking about it, and I was about to say yes, and then Chris Turnbull was like, Tim, don't. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because you're taking money away from the developers and giving GameStop a bunch of money they don't need, that they're just ripping off from people. And the attendant just
the second half of that is actually true.
And the counter person, she just like looks over at him with a death stare because she knows it's true. And I just look at her and I'm like, nah, I think I'll stick with the new copy and support the developers.
Good point.
Because
it's almost true, because somebody originally bought that game, so they've already made money off of that copy. So the developer isn't losing money, really.
Right, in a sense, though. But that used copy that the other person originally bought and they gave back to GameStop, they maybe got what, like $5 or $7 worth of stock credit.
Yeah, it's that person that they're ripping off, and it's you that they're ripping off because they're selling it so expensive.
Right, but in a sense, all that extra money isn't going back to the developers at all, though. It's going to GameStop to help them in their domination of the video game world. And it kind of pisses me off how originally, like...
Well, that's how all markets like that are, though.
Oh, I know.
Used movies are the same, except used movies are cheaper than used games.
The video game industry was an open market for independent people and small-time people until the big companies, like people with actual money, realized, oh, hey, there's actual big market here.
We've done 2 topics and we're 40 minutes in.
Well, what's the next
crap? Team, wait, weren't we going to pass this around?
Sure, here. What's this one?
The one at the bottom.
Okay.
It might go on
Team
the other.
ICO says that if the Shadow of the Colossus movie works, they would like to
make a movie out of Ico.
Oh, Ico. Okay.
And
the
Last Guardian,
right.
which looks amazing.
Okay, the script for Shadow of the Colossus said to be written by, is that Justin Marks?
I don't remember the guy's name. It's the guy that wrote the Street Fighter.
Legend of Chun-Li.
And that movie sucked.
I didn't even see it. I just saw the trailer.
I have unfortunately seen it. I saw it for free and I felt ripped off.
And I was like, what? Why? It's obvious that something like Street Fighter will never work as a live action. So...
That movie is so bad that you remember the Street Fighter movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme? That looks like a masterpiece in comparison. That's how bad this movie is.
Well, I remember, here you go. I remember when I was working at West Coast, I actually put on that original Street Fighter movie because I was so bored because I had seen every good movie that we were allowed to play there, like at least 10 times each or more. So I was like, I'm putting on a shitty movie. And I was looking around, I'm like, we need a really shitty movie to put on. Finally, I found it, I came back in Germany, I showed it to Jeremy, and he was like, no, please, no. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Jeremy, it's a really good shitty movie. And I'm like, we're watching Street Fighter. And he's like, no! And no, you're on drugs!
I'm going to kick that son of a bitch Bison's ass.
So I put it in and watched, and it pissed him off so much that he's like, it got to the point where we were supposed to start cleaning because it was closer to the end of the night, and I started to help him clean. He's like, no, I'm doing all the chores tonight. I'm like, why do you want to do all the chores by yourself? He's like, I need something to distract me until this movie's over and it's time to close up. So I actually got out of the chores for the night because he needed,
picked a bad movie.
Yeah, because he needed to distract himself that badly.
I have to pee. I'll be right back.
Okay, well,
but anyway, I don't know the details about this movie coming out, but the Shadow of the Colossus movie.
It does not bode well for it when that guy is writing it because he did Legend of Chun-Li, and Legend of Chun-Li was terrible on every level.
I just don't think that they should make any more movies based off of video games unless the story...
Well, they're going to keep doing it. Did you see Prince of Persia?
No.
It's honestly pretty good.
Honestly, the only movie so far that I liked that was a video game movie...
Please say Silent Hill.
Yes, Silent Hill.
Silent Hill was pretty good.
It did give it a somewhat sense of justice, but even still, it did not live up to the original game. But which is understandable. But it's just like, here's my view: if this video game has a good story, right? And say the gameplay sucked, well then obviously it should have just been a movie in the first place. But it's not a movie, it's already out, it's like, why retell the story? What's the point other than to make more money? You know what I mean? And if it's a crappy story and good gameplay, then obviously it shouldn't be a fucking movie because the movie is about the story. So
yeah, I think Shadow of the Colossus might be able to work as a movie if you got the right director. Unfortunately, I think the right director is dead.
The big problem with
Martin Scorsese?
Martin Scorsese is not dead.
Francis Ford Coppola?
Well,
he's still alive too. I think he's releasing a movie this year.
I think a big problem though with
grandma.
I think a big problem though with making
2001 is what makes me think it would be possible.
Stanley Kubrick.
Yes.
Okay.
Because of how quiet that movie.
Right.
There's not much dialogue in Shadow of the Colossus. It's all about the scenery and everything.
Gosh.
And
there
Shadow
was dialogue in that game.
I just thought of that, dude. Stanley Kubrick did Shadow of the Colossus. It would be.
It might actually be good.
Well, let me just say this: why Shadow of the Colossus shouldn't be a movie. Because playing that game felt like it was an interactive movie, honestly.
So did Heavy Rain.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Heavy Rain, don't get me wrong, Heavy Rain's awesome. Heavy Rain's fucking amazing. But
wait, now we're all standing, and this is really awkward. Let's all get our seats.
Why are we standing?
Because you went
Okay.
You broke the feng shui engine.
I broke the feng shui engine. The whole time we've
Street
been
Fighter 4 reference, actually.
The whole time we've been doing this episode, I've been texting back and forth with my brother, who decided I should get a store discount on a diesel engine from my employer and charge it to, which I could technically do, buy a diesel engine, charge it to the company, and send it to somebody who I don't like. Thinking about sending it to Brian Rawlings, who you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
He'd be like, you guys! And then we'd send him a nice big barrel of diesel fuel with a bow on it to be nice. Because then he'd have something to do with it. turned it into a purple machine.
So, as far as video...
This is going to suck the first time you have to replace this battery.
Oh, yeah,
What is that?
This is my MP3 player, which I slammed in a door and the case broke apart. So I took all the circuit boards and taped them to an old membership card.
It looks like some kind of device you would use to steal money from an ATM machine.
It does.
It works.
ATM machine's redundant, by the way.
What? Yeah, I know.
Wait, what?
ATM machine.
Yeah, what
is redundant.
I was just gonna say, no, seriously, it looks like something you would steal money from an ATM with.
It works, everything except for the screen and the rewind button. Everything else works.
Oh, God.
I've been listening to this all weekend.
And I thought my
You want to read the next topic about the bad...
I thought my computer was jerry-rigged, but
your computer's pretty jerry-rigged.
Not as bad as that.
Can we put a picture of this on the website?
Please.
I don't know, can we?
Can that be
May we?
Please don't do that. My mom used to do that. I don't know, can we?
My dad taught me.
Can that be the background for the website?
Yeah.
Oh, real quick before the next topic, as far as video game movies go, I think you should only make it if it's like the story takes place like in between the games, or it's like a prequel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we really need to show him the Mega Man movie, though. That's video game... okay, granted...
campy, but it was good.
Granted that it's a student film, or like a fan film, so you have to have allowances for the fact that they don't have money. It did Mega Man right.
The Metal Gear movie won't be happening right now. Hideo Kojima basically put on hold.
Did you know that there is a fan-made Metal Gear movie endorsed by Kojima called Philanthropy?
Yes, I do.
You guys stop with your addendums and poor pronunciation of Hideo Kojima. I just mispronounced it anyways.
But anyway,
Hideo.
Anyway, I honestly think the only way it would work is if David Hayter was one of the writers for it, because David Hayter is actually a really good writer, and
yeah, he is. He did X-Men 1 and 2.
Plus, he knows Snake better than anyone else.
And you see, the X-Men that everybody hates, David Hayter didn't write it.
Right. Yeah, and everyone hates on the Watchmen movie, but you know what? I guarantee if David Hayter hadn't been one of the writers, it would have been a real steaming pile of shit.
It was decent.
Because David Hayter and the director were both told the producers, no, this movie will not happen, we will drop out if you try to make it in present day and replace the Russians with terrorists, which the producers wanted to do. So, anyway, Alex,
your turn?
Okay. Blockbusters filed for bankruptcy and $1 billion of debt. $1 billion.
Wait,
that's a lot of debt.
The Blockbusters.
Oh, you said Ghostbusters.
Did I?
Wait, what?
Blockbusters! Because it looks like block bushes.
Anyway, continue on.
$1 billion of debt. They say this is prearranged, and the company has reached an agreement with seniors of debt holders to get Blockbuster out of debt. So it's Chapter 11. They're not.
Yes, it's Chapter 11.
So they're going to restructure.
They haven't closed any stores. I mentioned that in the story.
Yeah, we were talking about this weekend, actually.
Yeah, I hadn't read up on it fully yet.
Because there's a Blockbusters right down the street from us, and I haven't patronized it yet because until recently, I just didn't have the money. They are kind of overpriced, I know, but at least they're not West Coast.
I have a problem with Blockbuster, not because
Blockbusters.
I know a lot of people have a problem with it because they don't have adult entertainment stuff. I think that's dumb. I don't care about that. But what I don't like about
go to
www.
Wank.com
or 4chan.
There's any number of porn sites on the internet.
As long as you don't even need, as long as there's 4chan, you don't even need to look for it. But anyway,
oh my gosh, probably sucks though.
No, with Blockbuster, they have this thing which also Walmart does, where they'll just blacklist certain media, and there are movies that Blockbuster blacklists. I don't know if you knew this, and I forget some of them that are like really good. Because like there will be something in it that some mother got mad about or something, or someone up top doesn't like the movie for any particular reason. It's always something different, but they blacklist movies, and I think that's incredibly wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're a private company, but it's like I don't know. It just seems like a bad idea because you're going to lose money then. Because if you blacklist something and somebody likes it, all they do is go in once, find out they don't have it, and none of their stores have it ever. Well, they're probably never going to go back there again.
I didn't even know they blacklisted stuff.
Yeah, they do.
I mean, I've always kind of liked Blockbuster because, I mean, I don't go there often. I don't rent movies often, but you can get a lot of cheap DVDs and stuff there, you know? Well, stuff like that.
Honestly, I think part of the reason why they probably went in debt, and I have no real idea real reason why, but this is just
Netflix is a huge part of it.
Yeah, part of it is Netflix, and part of it is...
Netflix is actually a pretty good service.
Even before it came out, they didn't start restructuring their policies quick enough. Like, look how long it took them before they're like, no more late fees. And when that first came out, it was a lie.
I can't believe they made that work.
It actually took a few months before that actually became true. New Jersey actually
You shall not
the state
pay.
It turns out that it wasn't true.
They said no late fees and they're still... they just like charge you... They just, like, let you buy or force you to buy the movie if it's too late.
But it was after... Back then, it was, like, after, like, 7 days they forced you to buy it instead of, like, 30. Or something like that. I forget the details. But basically, it was...
With the restocking fee.
I don't remember the details. It was... Basically, it was BS. It was a trick, and
it's a trap!
It caused a lot of people to lose money, and it caused a lot of headache. So New Jersey, apparently the state just got pissed at Blockbuster and sued them.
We're running out of... go ahead.
So they were like, okay, we'll actually have no more movies.
Nice.
And then there's the whole Netflix thing. And then there was Redbox, which
Redbox is a big part of it too. Redbox has grown exponentially since it launched.
And Blockbuster's now trying to compete with that, but they waited way too long. It's like the same thing with Netflix.
They need to get their online shit together. If they can get something good online like Netflix, people will go there because they know the Blockbuster name.
Hold on, before Netflix even became big, if Blockbuster saw this, even if they didn't think it was going to end up being something big, they should have started it too. That way, if either one, because before
they could have stolen a lot of Netflix's thunder early on.
I'm going to go to Blockbuster. So if Blockbuster started advertising head on, like as soon as Netflix came out, within the first month, if they started advertising, we're doing the same thing as them basically, no one would have known about Netflix, and then would have went straight to Blockbuster. And Blockbuster would have had all that money that Netflix
they were like, internet, stupid.
Right. And
I wonder if they're going to be able to pull themselves out of this.
And it's like they
don't lie, $1 billion is a lot of debt.
And it's like they keep trying to play catch up, and they keep like copying people after it's a success. And what
kind of like Nintendo, but on
right, they need to copy people before they become a success. And if it doesn't end up becoming a success, oh well, they may have lost a little money out of it, but they, in the end, they saved themselves a lot of money in the long run.
$5 says Washington's going to try and bail out Blockbuster on account of America needs to be entertained and occupied.
Yeah, no, I think honestly,
that was bad.
If there's any more like big bailouts like we saw in the past, you can I bet you there will be riots in Washington if that happens again.
It probably will happen again.
No, because people are starting to wise up about what is actually happening with those bailouts.
Mm-hmm.
And
like freaking Chrysler, they bailed out Chrysler, and I heard that like lately they've been catching people going out and like pounding a 6-pack and like smoking pot like on their lunch breaks because they're union, they can't get fired. Well, let's not get into politics. But while we're talking about movies in general, we're kind of running out of time here. We have one more topic. We're running out of time, but I want to throw a little bit else something in. You know who's what's possibly being turned into a movie?
What's that?
The Nerd.
Oh yeah.
I saw that. That's pretty cool.
Nerd.
Did you watch the video? Have you seen his newest video called Dragon in My Dreams? Talking about what inspired him.
I saw that and I started to watch it and I ran out of time and I want to watch it all the way through, but I haven't gotten around to it.
You should watch it. I mean, it'll only take up like 5 to 8 minutes of your time, but it's worth watching. It's very, very cool. Very, very good. And it strengthened my resolve to get my fucking movie made. Is what it did.
Just, have to pound a moose head,
into a duck.
A moose head lager. Genius. And before I get to bed and take a look at that.
Topics?
Oh, yeah.
Want to move on to the last one?
We have top topics?
Want to move on to the last
What
one?
are these topics of which you speak?
I think everyone
But
knows
let me
about
just.
the
Oh,
Nerd
wait. Hang on. Let me just say this. I thought it was really interesting because has Ian heard about that yet?
Wait, dude. I don't know.
Because he's.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna hear that and groan. But
Yeah.
I have so much respect for the way James Rolfe described that. He said it's not gonna be a 2-hour nerd video. It's gonna be more like
Wayne's World.
Yeah.
And Wayne's World is fucking
Where
awesome.
They started out as a segment, and instead of becoming a 2-hour episode of Wayne's World,
they showed like the world outside the show.
That could be pretty cool.
And that was an absolutely brilliant way of doing it, and it was funny too.
And consider if he does what these guys who are making the movie called Iron Sky. I don't know. If
That movie looks so badass.
So MG.
Basically, almost the entire fund is all basically donation. Like there are some big donations from bigger companies.
There is a movie called
like
Invasion of the Not Quite Dead that's entirely fan-funded.
But like half of it is from like individuals just donating money into it from just seeing the trailer.
And if you donate money to this Invasion of the Not Quite Dead movie, you get your name in the credits as a producer.
That too, yeah.
That's cool. That's really
there's
cool.
There's a whole website, like a whole company that's dedicated to this whole system of fan basically funding movies. So if the Nerd, because he said it's going to be well before this is donated, he's probably going to have a lot of people actually help him with the actual project. So if he did like,
well, he said in his video, he said he's probably be looking to have people help him with the project, which would be fucking cool. Especially if he still lives in Philly, we could help.
Yeah, considering how much fans he has, if he had just by himself, if he had fan donations, he was talking about in best possible scenario, it would be seen in theaters nationwide. If he had fans donating money, that could actually be a real possibility. He's
got a lot of fans, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, what do his videos get? Something like 2 million videos within the first day or something now?
He gets a shit ton of views. He gets more views than anything else Screw Attack puts out.
Yeah.
And Screw Attack is a badass website with a fairly sizable fandom of its own. They have their own yearly con. Okay. They have their own yearly convention. That's how awesome Screw Attack is. I want to go to one, but we should move on.
I kind of would like to see just like a podcast where you guys introduce yourselves, but then you don't say anything for the rest of the thing, and it's just Tom Walsh and Andrew talking with each other. That would be amazing. Anyway, last topic.
In a what the fuck moment this week, get this: SEE Virtual Worlds announced a massively multiplayer online game based on the life of Michael Jackson. It is called Planet Michael. The realms will be named after his albums, and it will be free to play.
Well, if it's free to play, I can't really be that mad about it, but it does still sound ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
At least they're not, like, trying to milk money out of Michael Jackson, though.
It's gonna get trolled to bejesus and back. You know it.
Yes, probably.
Bones! I hate change!
All kinds of jokes about Michael and children. It will be trolled with those.
Oh my god.
You know that's gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
Although they may wind up doing what a whole lot of free quote unquote free MMOs do and charge you for little things here and there, just a little bit at a time, like nickel and diming, basically.
You know what trolling I'm surprised we haven't seen is any trolls doing like edits with GIFs with like Michael Jackson with clips from Lazy Town.
Lazy Town?
Yeah, that song with
that kid
You
show?
are a pirate!
Yeah, that and Bake a Cake or whatever.
Yeah. The girl with the pink hair who looks like she's
You know you can't be lazy.
From Sweden, that's right.
But she's actually like 21, I think, or something.
And she
22.
goes in that cake song.
Yeah,
she's like,
she
you
looks
know,
like
you
she's
can't be lazy like that.
Oh yeah, I remember Lazy Town.
Yeah, that's Lazy Town.
Yeah,
like,
Colin
people
showed it to me.
troll that
Go figure.
all the time, especially with like Peter Bear jokes. I'm surprised there hasn't been any like with Michael Jackson like gifted in, but I guess because like she's a girl, not a boy. I don't know.
Probably.
But
if it was a show about little boys, it'd probably be Michael Jackson all over.
When he got acquitted for one of his child abuse charges, they said, "So, how do you feel about this victory?" He said, "I feel like a little boy again."
Oh.
You know
Fail.
You know what GIF always made me really mad, which I once saw that made me it was the first time I went on 4chan. It made me not go on there for another year and a half. The first time I only went on there was because Joe's Rat told me, "Oh, you never heard of 4chan?" Anyway, I went on there. First picture I see is a GIF of Will Smith doing this really funky rap dance or whatever, but they edited over top of the Twin Towers falling. So it was like he was stepping on it as it was falling. And I was just I was so offended. I was like, this website is horrible. And
to this day, the website continues to be horrible.
I don't look at it. I tried it maybe twice.
I only go I try to.
You only go there for the more serious stuff.
I try to stick to the most serious stuff.
So away from B.
No, sometimes there'll just be moments where I'm so bored I don't know what to do.
Dude, just go to 7chan. It's basically the same thing but slightly toned down.
No, I've been 7chan, and you know why I can't go there?
Why?
Because I don't have ADD as bad as you and Ian. Seriously. That's what I feel like the people who built and mod that site are.
The first time I went there, I was like, there's an Animals board /ANI, and I was like, oh, cool. And I go there, and the first thing I see is a picture of a really stupid-looking deer, and the caption just says, "Her, I'm a der." That made me laugh.
You know the whole joke, "Fuck you, I'm a bear"?
Yeah.
The internet meme? I saw a
Didn't
picture.
they do that with a shark as well?
Maybe, I don't know. But I saw a picture the other day. Someone drew a mini comic where it shows this guy standing in the woods. A bear comes up to him, stands up, and just roars. And the guy just goes, "Fuck you!" and he punches the bear in the gut. I thought it was an interesting twist on that meme, but...
Well, yeah, no wait, the shark meme was with 3 pictures of the shark says, "I'm a shark, I'm a shark, I'm a shark, suck my dick," and that was it.
Okay.
And it was weird, and I don't know how it became a meme, but it did.
Oh, that reminds me, real quick, has anyone ever...
memes are retarded.
I saw one of, I rarely watch TV anymore, but the last time I watched TV, there was a whole slew of stupid commercials.
A whole slew, right?
Yeah.
Stupid commercials named Slew.
They were just making fun of. It was while we were watching the Futurama episode.
Yeah.
And finally, the last commercial that came on was probably the greatest commercial I saw in my life. And it was a Nicorette commercial, actually. The guy's just sitting there on a bench on a boardwalk. And there's this obviously fake looking shark eating his arm it's up to his shoulder, just wagging around. And the guy's just sitting there on the bench going, "Cigarette, cigarette, cigarette," and it gets closer to him. He's going, "Cigarette, cigarette." He takes out of his pocket with his other arm a pack of Nicorette, puts in his mouth, piece in his mouth, starts chewing it. All of a sudden he looks over where the shark is supposed to be and he goes, "Shark! Shark!" And the idea was you were supposed to think it was the shark was a representation of his addiction. Because he was sitting there going,
No, his addiction was distracting him from the shark that was eating his arm.
The way it was just filmed, up, and how fake the shark looked, it was supposed to
like the exploding shark in Batman.
It was kind of like the shark was a representation of his addiction. I think that's what you were supposed to make it seem what it was.
Have you seen that scene?
It's actually real.
Have you seen that scene from the 1960s Batman movie?
Yeah, I remember.
Batman just punching the shark
and the shark explodes when it hits the water. I watched last night.
Why did I explode?
I watched last night an episode of Scooby-Doo with Sonny and Cher on it. Probably the funniest thing I've ever seen because Sonny was.
Is that the hour-long movie type things they did?
Yeah,
I saw those.
It was so funny because Sonny was so dense and he was smiling all the time, and Cher was just being so sarcastic to him. She's like, "We will have fun at this resort tomorrow, Cher," and she's like, "Of course we will tomorrow. Or my name's not Barbara Streisand." And he's like, "Your name's not Barbara Streisand." And she said, What did she say? It was something freaking hilarious. She's like, you ride the short bus or something? It wasn't that.
You're not even telling a coherent story anymore.
It was so funny.
Anyway, we're going on 17 minutes
here.
We haven't even been talking about Michael Jackson for the past, 5 at least, so.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, he's freaky. He goes, woo!
And they made a video game out of him, that's freaky.
Yeah, it was for the Genesis, and now they're going to make 2 more. One of them will be a massively multiplayer online game. How the fuck is that going to work?
Just a bunch of Michael Jacksons running around going, Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson,
Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson, Jackson.
Oh, Jackson. Being John
Malkovich.
Yeah.
Malkovich.
Leveling off by defeating people in dance-offs.
I just imagine him lunging his pelvis at someone, little steps at a time, just going
You know, it'd be awesome to see
Michael Jackson just attack you with his crotch.
Michael Jackson in a knife fight because he would go and stab, and then to get away, he would moonwalk backwards.
Yes.
Woo, you can't hit me.
Can't touch this.
Why they call it the 360? Because you do a 360 and moonwalk away.
Alright.
Wait, wouldn't that be a 180 though?
No, you do a 360 and then you moonwalk away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, someone decided to say that. It's you see it, you do a 360 and walk away. And everyone was zig fail.
Well, honestly, in all defense, I'm not gonna, I personally, I don't have an Xbox because, 1, I'm poor, 2, I
don't have an Xbox because mine was stolen.
The controller. But, honestly, to be fair, there's a problem with both Xbox and the PS3. And the fact
Xbox has Mass Effect, so I want it.
Microsoft charges for their internet service, and it's honestly not any better than Sony's anymore. It was before, but now Sony's actually surpassed them as far as connection strength. So, while at the same time, Microsoft does have full support, and they take responsibility if they screw up. Even if they can't fix it right away, they eventually do. As whereas Sony and their user...
Takes about 6 weeks.
And Sony, in their user agreement, basically it says, if you download an update that, say, messes up your PS3, that, somehow causes it to be destroyed. For instance, some people downloaded one update that actually caused the older ones, the Blu-ray player, to speed up, and it actually burnt out the system. It destroyed it. And Sony... in the user agreement, you basically say they have no responsibility for that. So there was 3,000 PS3s that got destroyed because of an update, and they're basically well, it's not our problem. In our user agreement, we are not at fault if it destroys your PS3. And so people have been trying to petition to get them to fix this, and so to get them to take more responsibility.
Problem is they do it online.
But yeah, so there's down and upsides to both services, so honestly, you're not going to see one totally outclass the other anytime soon.
They all have their ups and downs, but we're into overtime, so we gotta bounce.
And I must use the bathroom.
Yay!
Yeah, we gotta go, and we'll talk. This has been another edition of Press the Action Button podcast
with sausage.
One final note from Slacker Chan: Brock Sampson plus Kim Possible equals Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Ooh, good one.
I thought you were going to say Brock Possible.
Brock Possible. Good one.
Anyway, yeah. We need to go, so that was Slacker Chan, and say goodbye, Game Face.
Goodbye, Game Face. Ha cliches.
But don't fail. And my name is Joystick, and we will talk to you guys next week on Press the Action Button on digital-delaware.com.